From the Cheap Seat Sports Bar and Grill in Champaign, Illinois, Ford of Tuscola proudly presents to you the Behind the Mic Show, featuring sports, comedy, and entertainment. Now here's your hosts, Keith Gibson and Sam Irwin.
Welcome again, everybody, to the Behind the Mic Show from the Cheap Seat Sports Bar and Grill here in Champaign, Illinois. I am Keith Gibson, alongside me each and every week, my tag team partner, Sammy Irwin. Sammy got the Don Julio sitting up there again this week.
No Bush latte for you?
Not yet. It's early in the show. No? Last week's show, I kind of felt a little good after the show got done, so I thought I'd, maybe not start with it this week. But hey, Sammy, we had a record last week.
Did we? What'd we have?
We had a record number of views last week, thanks to our good friend Nate, the gun drummer. I believe we finished with 7,200 views last week of our Behind the Mic Show. So thank you to each and every one of you for watching, sharing, listening, and can you believe that? We had 7,200 views last, 7,200 people.
Man, that's
watched.
like 2,000 or 3,000 more than Pigman.
Right.
Our former record.
Right.
Good Lord. Wow.
Yeah, so pretty cool.
And especially thank you to Justin Cook for hooking us up. You know, that guy, I don't know how he has time to do anything, all the stuff he's doing. And then lucky him, he's also a school board member too. And this time of Bush, I bet he's really, really thankful for, really appreciates the fact that he ran for that position. So, woo, can't keep anybody happy right now being there.
No one's happy.
Yeah, thank you to him for that. He shared it on Gun Drummer's page, and man, God, that guy was fun.
He was great guy.
Neat.
What a guy!
That was neat. Yeah, absolutely. So, what'd your weekend consist of?
Let's see. Friday, Kendall had a 4-year appointment. I got some shots.
How'd that go?
Not well.
Okay. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I've said this stuff before. It's now 2020, and I understand it's a screwed up time of this world or whatever. But my question is, how have we not progressed as a society enough to where you don't have to stab little kids with needles anymore? How has there not been something created that's very quick and painless? The kid doesn't even notice it.
Oh, no, she didn't mind the shots. She milked it like a good milker.
Got some free candy and stickers.
Oh, she walked out. She said, okay, so Lori took her to the appointment. Walked out. Lori said 14, 15 steps out of the doctor's office. Mommy, I took both shots. I think I deserve McDonald's.
She's a pro.
Yep. Just like her old man.
Oh, well,
but
that's
then
good.
she
I'm glad
milked it Friday evening. She's, Daddy, my arms. No, she was so good. And Saturday we got to spend some time. My parents came up old downtown, and Gigi came up and spent some time with Kendall, and Lori and I got to go out and celebrate a little bit of her birthday. And then when I say celebrate, Sam, remember we went to 2 different places to have a couple drinks, dinner, and came home by 9:30.
Such is the married life when you're 40, or close to it. So
you eat those nachos from Billy Baroo's, and it fills you up quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how big they are. They sit this tall.
Oh, man.
It's like a volcano.
Nachos as big as your head. Yeah.
Literally.
And so, fantastic, too.
Did that, and Sunday didn't do a whole lot because it stormed and rained and hailed again.
Did it not?
Yeah. And so got some things done.
Crazy.
Got the greatest sitcom turning together, and other than that, spent some time with the family this weekend, which was really nice. So,
that's nice.
Yourself.
That's nice. You know what? Just a whirlwind tour up in Mahomet, and we actually got to go out for a little bit. Grandpa took care of the little one for an hour or so we could go have some Mexican restaurante there in Mahomet. Good stuff. And then the dryer went out. Just
How'd
blowing
that go?
out cold air. You know what? Better than I thought. Thank God for YouTube, because she pulled up a video and the guy showed us exactly how to do it. So we went back there. Very simple. Take part off. Here's the problem, Keith Gibson, United States of America anymore. Nobody has parts anymore. Just buy the whole damn thing.
Right.
So you can order a part. That's great. So we drove all over Champaign Sunday afternoon to try to find a part. To get it fixed, because we took it off, and it would be very easy to put it back on and get her dryer up and going. No parts ever. So that didn't work, but she's going to order one, and she got the YouTube there, and her dad help her throw it back on there so she can dry her clothes. And then ran down to Mother's, and I thought it was a brilliant idea. I bought her these a while ago, and they finally showed up. Some azalea bushes showed up. She's a big fan of those.
I like azaleas.
And got Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. At the Masters, as you know, you see
right.
those when you're watching the golf tournament. Breathtaking, really. But got 8 of those and took them down there and got down to Mom's around, I don't know, like probably 3:30 by the time I got there. Planted 8 of those as it was 108 degrees outside. Good time. And got that taken care of. So I sweat out quite a bit. But,
hey, what you don't do for your mother?
She'll be thrilled. Yeah, that's right. Anything she wants.
That's
so,
right.
But she'll be thrilled come spring. Hopefully they grow up nicely. Many different colors. Should be beautiful. So yeah, it was just crazy, just all over the place.
I hear you.
Yeah, but a good weekend.
It was. Yeah, we're moving into the end of July, 1st of August. A lot of things going on, and a lot of things to talk about today, though, Sammy.
Oh, so many.
We have a great interview coming up with Brian Marshall, Wishes for Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't checked out their website and their Facebook page yet, unbelievable organization. I was blown away. Can't wait to interview him and find out what he does for veterans and pretty awesome, Sammy.
Oh, man. Yeah. So we've kind of got a theme going here lately, Keith Gibson, with Kyle Delaney last week and now the Wishes for Warriors, which I'm all about that. If we can keep that going.
Americans, baby.
Keep that going. Anything for troops is fine with me. But yeah, very excited for this interview coming up. I know he works closely with our buddy Matt McGrew, old Rug down in Texas. So we'll hear a little bit about that from Brian as well. But yeah, really looking forward to that interview. Going to be very, very interesting, very entertaining.
We're going to talk about LeBron James' rookie card selling for major money, Sam Irwin. Unfortunately, John Yates did not sell it. If he did, he's not telling us.
He might have had it. Who knows?
Tiger. We're going to talk Tiger at the Memorial. And who is John Rahm?
Oh, John Rahm, #1 in the world, baby.
Right. NFL players want better protocol before they return. Mark Cuban voicing his opinion on the national anthem, getting a Twitter war. Imagine that. Mark Cuban has something to say.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk a little bit about John Lewis passing as well and what he meant to just not the sports world, but the world in period. So we'll do that. We got B's Trees Trivia, Dumbass Criminal of the Week. We're going to have our news headlines, too. Not just sports. We're going to have our news headlines coming up as well here after a bit. Can't wait for that. We'll send it over to the news desk, and we'll talk about some events coming up. So we'll take a quick break and come right back here on the Behind the Mic Show from the Cheap Seats Sports Bar and Grill.
For more than 150 years, you've believed in Busey. Today, more than ever, we believe in you. To our healthcare workers, first responders, and local businesses, you're central to the communities we're proud to call home. Busey's grateful to partner with you and your families through life's ups and downs, today and for generations to come. Because as neighbors helping neighbors, we're in this together. Busey, grateful to serve the communities we call home.
Welcome back, everyone. Sling and Sammy from Miami here with you. And with me, as always, the round mound of sound, the sexual intellectual,
the man made of steel and sex appeal.
My God, Keith
the quintessential
Gibson,
stud muffin.
Again.
Every woman's dream, every man's nightmare. I won't continue.
The list goes on and on.
The bacon and her eggs, a man for whom... No, that's not proper on this show. We'll stop that.
So anyway, welcome back, everybody. Here we are. It's time for... Hey, Keith Gibson, what show number is this? What are we up to now?
63 or 4? 63, 4, 3.
Just keep rolling along.
I don't know, somewhere in the 60s.
So, wow, how about it? All right, so here we are. It's Fast Five time. Keith Gibson, are you ready?
Let's go.
He's ready. Here we go. Up first, LeBron King James had a rookie card. Only 23 made, Keith Gibson, ever of this card. Just had a record for a purchase of a memorabilia card of $1.8 million. Keith Gibson, your thoughts?
I hope our buddy John Yates sold it and was the one, because if he was, how you doing, John?
Yeah, hey, John, if you want to sponsor the show or anything, let us know.
A little bit our way, buddy. No, okay. So salaries are up.
Yeah.
Ticket prices are up.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, if you've got good memorabilia, you're going to make a great amount of money. But $1.8 million? Is it really worth that, Sam Irwin?
I can't even imagine. I mean, yeah, only 23 were made.
Right,
I'm sure it's signed, but man, that's a lot. But remember, what did that guy pay for McGuire's baseball?
A lot of money, too.
wasn't it like $3 million or something like that?
We're talking about a piece of paper.
Right.
We're talking about a card. We ain't talking about practice. We're talking about a card.
Right.
I love seeing these new cards and stuff come out. I know, as we had John on not too long ago, he said, you can buy packs for up to $300 now. I remember going to the store, Pictures and More and all that downtown floor and buying baseball cards. And we're talking about, 50 cents a pack, $1 a pack.
Right.
And getting a bubble gum in it, and you were excited about it.
Right, that terrible bubble gum.
It was awful. Dry, but 1.8 million, Sam Irwin, whoever bought it, I'm glad they have the 1.8 million just to throw away.
Mm-hmm. I guess so. And the best part of it all is that came out, and one LeBron James tweeted, "That's good to hear, because I've got like 3 or 4 of those myself." As if he needs the money. He's got like 4 of those himself that if he wanted to, especially coming from him, he could probably get $2 to $3 million out of it because
if not
he
more.
himself is son. If not more. Exactly. Because once again, like he needs the money. But just absolutely insane.
But maybe he doesn't. Maybe he auctions them off for charity.
Maybe he will. Why not? He don't need the money, so why not do something like that, right?
So we'll Behind the Mic Show, auction it right off.
That's right. We'll do it. Yeah. Maybe we keep a certain percentage.
And we'll keep him. We'll bring him on the show.
Yeah.
We'd have no problem.
That's right. See, he gets something out of it. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Tiger at the Memorial, kind of an up and down weekend. They said that course was tough, Keith Gibson. Tough.
It looked dry,
also,
Sam.
What's that?
It looked dry.
They said the course was very dry. Greens are very fast. It was kind of like playing on a tabletop. He did make the cut. He had some bright moments, some bad moments. But your thoughts on his performance overall?
Long way off. Kind of expected. Tough course.
Mm-hmm.
When greens are that tough and it's that dry out, there's no give. You're not going to catch a lot of breaks. We know that. I mean, we've played on some courses like Blue Needles where there's no break needles. Where it's dry as a bone. You hit that green. I don't care if you hit center of the green, it's bouncing 12 feet.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's in the cornfield.
Right.
Yeah.
He played better on Sunday, finished up. I think he'll improve. He knows what. The good news is he didn't have a breakdown health-wise all weekend.
Right. Yeah,
so,
I've heard that he said after that, I think it was like either maybe it was the second or third round, I can't remember, one of them that was not great at all. Felt some stiffness in the back, and he said, "This is just my life now." And I'm like, ugh.
There's not much more time with Tiger, Sam. We know that.
No, there's not. Yeah.
But
it's a few years, and that's about it. And then also a new number one, Jon Rahm.
Who?
Bingo. I've seen him play before, and he's good.
At Arizona State.
Number one. Arizona State, how about it? Jon Rahm, but he's a good, solid golfer. He's now worked his way up to number one, so good for him. Got a stat here for you. You like stats. They said if Jon Rahm is number one in the world from today until August 1st, 2033, so 13 years from now, he will still not have accumulated as many weeks at number one as Tiger Woods. And that is insane.
That's your stat of the week, and that is absolutely nuts.
I saw that, and I was like, as if you need any more proof of who is the GOAT.
13
Good God. The guy
years
could be 13
at number
years straight at number one and still not have as many weeks as Tiger Woods at number one. Dominance. You'll never see it again. Never.
No,
anyway,
you're right.
So,
but Rahm, a good player. He's consistent, but you also got to think Koepka's been out. A lot of these guys aren't playing, a lot of these tournaments. So, hey, for Mr. Rahm, take it and run with it, big guy.
Yeah, and hey, if nothing else, it was just nice to see people playing golf. It was nice to see Tiger play golf, and hopefully, this is starting to get back into it. We'll see what happens, with COVID and all that. But that leads us into our third topic, Keith Gibson. The NFL players kind of concerned about that COVID, say they want better protocol. Your thoughts?
I don't blame them. I think the NFL needs to have a protocol. Nobody's ever seen the NFL's protocol, what's going to happen here. They're worried about exchanging of jerseys after games due to COVID, but they're okay with them hitting each other. So, once again, the NFL is continually following up and
can't do anything right.
No, they don't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But here's my question. This came on Twitter, Sam Irwin. So is Twitter the new voice of pro athletes? Is it really growing that big where to make a statement, you say it on Twitter?
Yeah. And you got to I think it is because a lot more people look on Twitter. Look at the followers people have, 30-some million, 80 million. I mean, it's insane how much they have. And then look how many people watch TV nowadays. Not that much. So when you say something on TV, you're not getting as many views as you are on Twitter by putting out a little paragraph. Right. This is what I think. So yeah, athletes are figuring that out. That's their new platform: Instagram, Twitter. That's where people are living right now.
Not everybody Facebook, has cable, but everybody's got social media.
That's exactly. Everybody's got that phone in their hand, Keith Gibson. That's for sure. And the athletes have figured that out, and they're going to get the point out. Now, on the flip side of that, they're worried about that, and they're still going to be traveling to stadiums and going town to town. That's why the protocol is insane. But whereas the NBA, they're in that bubble, Keith Gibson, and it just came out that the NBA has tested 386 players, 0 positive cases, and they're in that bubble.
Sorry, so in case you couldn't see my 0 in my hands, I'm making a bigger 0.
So once again, the NBA continues to lead the way with brilliant thoughts, looking ahead, and doing things right. Now, that isn't to say a week from now somebody may test positive.
Right.
But they're all contained in that bubble. Is it going to suck for them? Yeah. They're going to be away from their family? Yeah. But they lead the way in the testing, how they're handling it. The NFL.
They got a barbershop in the bubble. What do they need?
I was going to say, they're building them a barbershop.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
All those rides. Yeah, that is. They got rides, they got food, they got everything, except, once again, time for their family and to get out. It would suck to be trapped in that bubble. I get, but Disneyland's a large area. But my question to you, Keith Gibson, is on the NFL, Major League Baseball, things of this nature, couldn't they have done something similar like this and played all game? Now, NFL, of course, I mean, you got all these, I don't know how you do it, because how many fields can you put and how can you keep it contained? And
you're talking 60-man rosters, 56-man rosters, whatever it is.
There's a lot more to manage.
Right. Mm-hmm. But you could have done it West Coast, Midwest, East Coast. Or done it in the 4 different regions and had then you do it that way. This year's going to be different, so I think sometimes you got to think outside the box, which you're right, the NBA has done. The NFL has not. Major League Baseball has to some degree with just playing teams in your division, staying in that central location or staying in that region area. I got to quit doing this. But
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do. But I think the NBA's done it right so far, and they're going to play. You realize this arena, this court they're going to play on is in a hotel, right?
Yeah.
It should be pretty cool, actually, to watch.
Well, I think it's going to be pretty cool. Supposedly the announcers are not in that area, but they're off-site, but they're still going to be broadcasting, watching it like we are, but broadcasting, but not on the court themselves. Once again, they're doing the best they can to help prevent the spread, which makes sense. And Keith Gibson, your thoughts on the baseball that's happening right now? Have you watched some games?
I watched the Cubs. I watched the Cubs-Sox game on ESPN the other night. I watched the Mets Yankees game the other night from Shea, where they had the cardboard cutouts in the stands, which I absolutely love, by the way.
Okay.
It was hard to watch, Sam. It really, as much as I love baseball, it was really hard to watch because they've kind of. If you're gonna have fans in the crowd, let me hear what the guys are saying. But they've kind of not allowed that to happen either.
Right. Yeah, I thought they were going to mic up players. Maybe that was something we said because they did it in spring training. We thought, well, that'd be cool if they do it all the time. Maybe they're not going to do it, but they should, because why the hell not? And then I heard one the other day. I think maybe Aaron Judge hit a bomb or something like that, and the announcer goes, "Aaron Judge with a fly ball, and that one's gone." There's about that level of excitement. It's just not there when you don't have the fans.
It's not, and it was really hard to watch. And it's going to be, but it's baseball, so can't complain.
And you know what, Keith Gibson? We've seen this with wrestling and the decline of wrestling without fans. Now you're seeing these sports. It's amazing how important fans are to sporting events. The noise, the energy. You're going to see a big difference, and hopefully, next year it'll be back to normal. But without fans.
And luckily for us, we are wrestling fans and have seen it for a while now, especially since, April when WrestleMania came out and everything. There's been nothing there. Still nothing there. It's been hard to watch. In fact, there was a pay-per-view Sunday night. I didn't even watch it just because I can't get into it right now with nobody there. It was kind of the same feeling with baseball. It was tough.
Yeah, very tough. Very tough. So anything else on that topic?
No, good. Let's move on.
Moving on. Number 4. Mark Cuban, shocker of shocks, voices his opinion about the national anthem and gets into a big Twitter feud again. Mark Cuban, always controversy. Keith Gibson, your thoughts on Mark Cuban?
I love what Mark Cuban said. Whether you kneel, stand, whatever you want to do for the national anthem, he's going to stand behind his Dallas Mavericks. The sports writer who said he wouldn't watch them if somebody kneeled, he's missing the entire point of all this.
Yep.
And it's people like the Dallas Morning News reporter are the reason we have these issues in the United States of America. So for Mark Cuban to stand up for his players, his team, his organization, kudos to Mark Cuban for once. I like the Cubes. Always have, just because he's a player guy too, and he gets right in there with you. But for the Dallas Morning News reporter, you're the problem, buddy. You're the problem.
You know, and I know a lot of people get upset by that. And once again, this was created due to politics, of course. Like you said, you're missing the point. This is not about the national anthem. This is their way to bring eyes to a problem in this country. And if you can't see that, certainly that's your opinion. You know, we can agree to disagree. But I, like you, I understand why they're doing it. You know, as we talked about when Kaepernick did it, he met with the former military person who told him, this is how you do it. You know, to be respectful. We went into this before. So why people are still pushing this national anthem thing, you know, I mean,
I'll tell you exactly why.
By politics.
I'll tell you exactly why. You have too many people in too many ears. Constant people in too many. Nobody makes their own decisions anymore. Right. That's why.
Yep. Sheep, Keith Gibson. Sheep.
Anymore I can't disagree with. Anymore I can't disagree with you, Sam Irwin. And when I become governor, we're going to change all that.
That's right. Absolutely. 2022, baby. If we're all still alive by that point. Anyway, anything else on that topic?
No, go Cubes. Okay. Keep up the good work, Mark Cuban.
You know what? And that's a guy that I would like to see get into politics. Because this is a guy that's going to have his opinion. He can't be bought. He's got his money. You know, so you think, you know, everybody thinks that, and you get in there and there's a whole lot more money. So it's like, But I would like to see more people like that are, you know, think outside of the box, that, you know, really do stuff like that. And, you know, that would be nice, but maybe not. Maybe he's smarter than us and realizes maybe that's not the way to go. All right, and finally, sad news, John Lewis, former civil rights activist, of course, was in politics for many, many years and fought for the rights of those less fortunate. And, of course, in the civil area, unfortunately passed away recently. Keith Gibson, you wrote this down, of course, with these topics. What are your thoughts about the John Lewis passing?
An icon in civil rights. You know, whether you like it or not, he helped organize the march with Dr. Martin Luther King. He was beaten by police officers on what they call Bloody Sunday. And what's sad is, Sam, the same things he was fighting for back then, in the early 70s and late 70s, and continue to do it all through his time, are still the same things we're fighting today. And that's why I think people, if you don't know who John Lewis is, please look it up.
Look it up.
Look it up. It's history. It's great American history. All they fought for were equality. He was arrested once for using a so-called white bathroom. So, you know, he wanted to change the world for better, and he was beaten. He's been thrown. He's been arrested. He stood for everything that we're fighting for. Everybody's fighting against and for today. And so to me, he's a civil rights leader, icon, and more people should be like John Lewis, to be honest with you.
Right. Absolutely. And in the 60s with Martin Luther King, I read a quote about him where he said, when we marched across that bridge, we thought we might be marching to our death. Something like that. And when people say, you know, get over it, you were never a slave, or why are you upset? It's not necessarily about the slavery. This wasn't that long ago. If you think about the 60s, my parents were in high school in the 60s. You've got, you know, grandparents that are in their 80s, you know, 90 years old. It's not that long ago. You know, they were battling, like you said, couldn't even use a certain toilet because of the color of his skin. And kudos to people like that, like him, like Martin Luther King, like the Malcolm X. The names go on and on and on that stood up for something and fought for something. Like you said, getting beaten, couldn't eat at a certain counter because they, you know, have attack dogs on them and rip them out of there, spray them with hoses. Human beings we're talking about. And like you said, the part that pisses you off the most, Keith Gibson, is sadly he passes away. And in the 60 plus years that he's been fighting, or 50, 60 years, not many things have changed. And that's sad. And that's where, you love this country, but it damn sure isn't perfect. And there's so many things to where it could be so much better if, once again, people would just come together and quit getting split apart by friggin' politics. You're talking about human being and human being. Reach out and help your fellow man.
And I don't think it's all politics, Sam. I think sometimes it's social media.
Social media and just inbred racism that you're taught from a young age on. It's a fear.
I know we're talking about that. One thing I want to say is as a father, I think it's very important. I know what actions I have. My little girl is seeing each and every day, and I've thought a lot about that lately. So what I say, what I do, is something she's going to carry on the rest of the way. Some of my things that I say, like, good night, Irene. Well, that's okay to say. That's because that's where we're going. We're going, good night, Irene. That's what my old man always said. Something I'll pass on. But I'm very careful of what I say and what around her. I want her to be raised with an open mind. And when something's on the news like that, I don't want her to see it because I don't think it's it's just be careful what you do around children because they're the most impressionable people.
Absolutely. And a question on that, Keith Gibson, as you as a parent, it's tough. What do you do? What do you don't? Especially because she's still little, of course. But as the years go on, and let's say she gets to be, 5th grade, just throw out a number. As she gets to be a little bit more, a little older, when you see something like that come on TV, you as a parent, will you just turn the channel because it's...
No, we'll have a talk about it.
Have a talk about it. Absolutely. Be educational. Show them that this is not correct. This is not how you treat people, especially in a city that you're in that's very diverse. The more... that you can teach her about that, the better off she's going to be.
One love.
It's not that difficult of a concept. No. I don't know why it's so difficult. But anyway, so Keith Gibson, that's all we got for the Fast Five. What do we got coming up for everybody?
We've got coming up, Sam Irwin, a great interview with Brian Marshall from Wishes for Warriors. We'll take a quick break, come back, and we'll talk to him. Excuse me. Oh, mercy, Sam got choked. But talk to him about what he does for our great veterans of the United States of America, right here on the Behind the Mic Show. Summer is here, and at Ford of Tuscola, the deals are hot. Right now at Ford of Tuscola, all new Fords are priced to sell, and our pre-owned inventory starts from under $3,000. Check out our selection online at FordofTuscola.com or get pre-approved for financing on any of our vehicles at www.cucarloans.com. That's the letter C, the letter U, carloans.com. Ford of Tuscola, small town feel with great big deals.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes, hey.
Welcome back to the Behind the Mic Show from the Cheap Seat Sports Bar and Grill. Keith Gibson, Sam Irwin, bringing in a special guest from Wishes for Warriors. And Bam, Marshall, Bam, thank you for joining us. Look at those big racks behind you. I'm always one for a big rack, Sam Irwin.
That you are. Well, Brian, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're good, man. We're good.
Great. Thanks for having us on. Well, our buddy Matt McGrew, my best friend for years and years and years, was nice enough to reach out to you. I know you guys work together, but before we get too far into that, Wishes for Warriors, what can you tell us about that? What exactly does that entail?
So Wishes for Warriors is an organization that I founded about 7 years ago, and Matt McGrew was actually one of the key components in that of that decision making. I was actually from start to finish. I would go up and help him guide. I actually started the first guided hunt I've ever been on in my life was with Matt. It was with this. I ran an executive security company, and the other owner of it, he was one of those big. He just booked the hunts and want to go drink whiskey and get pampered and all that, right? And I'm like a hunter, so he's like, "Hey, we're going on this guided pig hunt." I was like, "A guided pig? People pay to kill pigs?" Like, I'm mind blown, right? Like, okay, cool. And we show up to Matt McGrew, and it was the biggest shit show I have ever been on in my life. And it was the greatest time. And Matt and I ended up hitting it off. Like, to this day, one of my best friends. He's the most genuine guy. But anyways, we built this relationship and this friendship over the years, and I'd come up and help him guide and all these big clients and stuff like that. Well, it was just him and I one day, and we're sitting up on the mountain and we're kind of glassing for pigs and stuff. And I was like, man, like, why don't I have a vet here? Like, he's like, what do you mean? I was like, instead of like, why don't we just bring a vet? Why don't I bring a vet next time? And he looks at me and he goes, I'll never forget. He goes, Bam, if you get him here, we'll kill him one. And I was like, okay, done. So I had like a 9.5 hour drive home, and that's all I was thinking about. And the why for Wishes was I lost my best friend in Iraq. And so he was big into the outdoors when we were kids and growing up, and he never got to like fulfill any of these dreams or any of these wishes that we had all planned. And, you know, his name was Eric, and he just, it was like such one of those things. It was just so weird. He joined the Army. I joined the Marine Corps. We were going to be in Iraq at the same time. He ended up getting hit and killed right away. And, you know, it was just one of those things. Like, I always had weight on me. And then years go by, did 8 years in the military, got out. I went contracting overseas, and I was in the spot financially, mentally, and just maturity wise to start an organization. And I don't even think it was going to be like an organization. I was like, you know, we'll do 4 or 5 guys a year. And Matt was like, get him here and we'll do it. And so Matt was really honestly the first person that gave me the encouragement of like, hey, let's just get the guys here. So I had about a 9.5 hour drive home. I got home and I sit down on the couch and turn the TV on. First thing I see is a Wounded Warrior Project commercial. And I'm just like, and I have all these stories from vets of just how they got treated and just the ins and outs of these big corporate organizations. And I was just like, God, these people are just, they just waste so much, not naming names, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff's wasted and not gone to the right sources and where it should be going. And so, you know, I had my wife and girlfriend or fiance at the time. And I was like, hey, I'm thinking about starting an organization. She's like, let's do it. Like, I got you. Like, I'll help you in whatever you need. And I was like, cool, let's just do it. And let's just help out like 5. We'll send like 5 vets on a hunt, 5 vets on hunts a year. God, did I know what it was going to turn into. And so, you know, I'm like putting GoFundMe's and like calling everybody that I know to raise money. And I kind of got a real low blow at right out the gate. And I've never actually told this story before. Right when I launched Wishes, I rescued this dog. This guy was dragging this beautiful dog across a parking lot. It like collapsed. I go over there, damn near fist fight the guy taking his dog. Come to find out, the dog had 2 broken hips. It was deaf. It was all messed up. Anyways, I throw a GoFundMe. The same time I have a double amputee vet, I throw this dog on GoFundMe. Hits the popular page. We raised like $15,000 overnight for a dog. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, I can't raise money for a wounded veteran. And this stupid dog that's damn near needs a bullet put in it just raised $15,000 overnight. So the dog gets fixed. We got a family. It's with one of our relatives, still doing great today. Anyways, so it was tough, you know. And so we raised just enough money to be able to like get the vet up to Northern California, and then it just snowballed. And one thing led to another. And you know, we did a bunch of hunts with McGrew, and we actually had a paraplegic that we took up there, and named Jared Wayman. And it was one of those stories where, I mean, we carried this guy on our back, and he ended up shooting his first deer since the first time he was paralyzed. And it was just one of those moments, man. And that's when like Matt and I really bonded over those experiences. Awesome. And then here we are today. I mean, like 7 years later, we have scholarship foundations. We work with Boise State University, where we're based out of. We're doing family retreats now for veterans. We do things for families that have lost loved ones. We'll send their kids and whole families on vacations and retreats. Obviously, we're still big into the outdoors and hunts and fishing trips, skydiving. I mean, you name it. We try to do it all. And it all went from like an idea of literally sitting on the mountain with Matt. And then here I am 7+ years later, and we have an organization where we help out hundreds of vets a year. I mean, we work with some of the biggest names in the outdoor world. I mean, for doing this Wishes for Warmth program where we send thousands and thousands of packages all over the country. It's on an honor system where if you see a homeless vet and they have a sign, and it's obviously you can't vet everybody, but you see some guy standing on the side of the street that has Vietnam vet or whatever. People will message us when we get all the donations of clothes in, and we will literally send them socks and shirts and jackets and thermals and all this cold weather gear to help as much as we can through the cold season. So that's kind of like a little down and dirty cliff notes of what we do. There's much more, but just kind of like just the cliff note on exactly what we got going on now. It is, and I had no idea. Like, I was just a Marine. I got out. I went to Afghan. I started an executive security company. I ended up transitioning into the utility world and being a project manager, and then it just one thing led to another. And it's one of those things, like, I don't have quit in me, and so it's just always, how do we evolve? How do we help more? And it's just where we're at today.
Bam, Under Armour is one of your big sponsors and helps with getting that cold gear out.
Yeah.
How did you really come in with them, and how did that? I mean, that's absolutely awesome what you do. What they do with you guys too.
It's a funny story. So they called our hotline, aka our office headquarters, which is my office in my house right there. That's where we run our whole organization at. So
it's all right. This is ours too. We get it.
Yeah.
So they call one day and they're like, "This is Under Armour. Like, we'd like to speak to the whoever we need to talk to about doing donations." And we're like, "Yeah, you got them. Like, this is it." And so they're like, "Oh, okay." And they're like, "This is," and I'm, we tell them. And I think my wife answered the first phone call, and she's the VP. And they're like, "Oh, wow." They thought they just happened to get, the VP of our organization, not knowing we're doing it out of like behind the couch of our old house where we started. And so one thing grew to another, and I mean, they would send us. We didn't do anything with them last year. Our rep transitioned out, so we're working it and starting it all over again, which kind of sucks. But they actually, one year they sent us, like, I want to say it was like $1.3 million of gear to my house, which we had no idea.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Get an email like, "Hey, can you guys accept freight?" And I'm like, "Freight? Like, no, this is my house." 2 minutes later, we hear beeping out the front door. 18-wheeler. I'm not even kidding. There's an 18-wheeler. I'm like, oh, they're just gonna like unload a pallet. Like when you order like a camp chef, like a smoker, it comes and they just got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it was the whole freaking 18-wheeler, top to bottom, front to back. It filled my whole entire 3-car garage. I'm talking, we couldn't even go in my garage, and it filled my whole driveway. It was a nightmare. I mean, I was renting Penske, like, U-Haul trucks, the biggest ones that you can drive without a CDL, filled them completely to the top and doing round trip turn numbers, not even stop. I mean, I'm talking stopping for a bite to eat, and I was dropping them off because we have another vet that we work with in Portland. They distribute clothes to homeless vets all from Washington all the way pretty much to Northern California. I was like, I'm talking just truckloads to this guy. So then we had thousands and thousands of messages come in, and it's on a kind of a first come first serve basis. And so, we were sending thank God we had some really awesome companies step up and help with the shipping costs. But yeah, I mean, it was just one of those deals. It's like, how do you say no to that? And so
that's awesome.
We got to hook a tab on this and let's just make it work. And, so now we work, and I actually have lots and lots of clothes I actually work for a camo company here in Boise. It's Cryptech Camo. So now with that, they're doing the same thing. So all of our, stuff that goes second gen or returns for no reason, that people just, instead of putting it back on the shelves, now it all goes. And like, we have a golf tournament coming up in August, and I'm driving a U-Haul truck to our event coordinator out there. So he plans all of our hunts. So now, I mean, we have thousands and thousands of pieces of gear from Cryptech. So now they're going to be able to step up. And so all these guys that we send on hunts, we have sizes that range from kids to adults and 3X. And so we'll be able to get those guys, and that's going to last us forever. So it's all cut and camo. So now hopefully all the vets that we're able to go on hunts, once we're over this whole COVID crap, we'll be able to get decked out in a bunch of gear.
That is awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Bam, in terms of, without going into great detail or anything like that, but those that are going to be watching this, they're watching this on Facebook and listen on the podcast. Why is this so important? What can you talk to us about the veterans that you're dealing with, whether it's, of course, an amputee, but also the PTSD, things like that? Why is that? What you're doing, why is it so important?
Well, from a veteran, it's from a veteran point. So anybody that's listening, like, don't, and I'm very blunt, and I call a spade. And so I was sitting back and I'm watching all these organizations, and it was like almost like a dog and pony. They were parading these guys around, and it was what it came down to is the guys that need the most help, the ones that don't have scars, right? The physical scars. It's the guys that are suffering from traumatic brain injuries, or suffering from survivor's remorse or survivor's guilt, or the PTSD that they're fighting in every single day. Those are the ones that I saw that were rotting away, right? The ones that I mean, we do everybody, body or mind, it doesn't matter. We have a certain criteria that you have to meet, but it doesn't matter, physical, mental, whatever. But it was one of those deals where I wanted to get these guys that needed the most help to the front of the line. And so all this research and everything I was doing, these big organizations, they raise hundreds of millions of dollars a year, but like cents on the dollar actually go to the programs. And so, and I tell everybody, I'm like, you know, it's for my organization. I don't care. We're going to be just fine at the end of the day. We're going to continue what we're doing. The mission is never going to change. But if for anybody that's listening, support small organizations. Your mom and pop organizations will have the biggest impact in the local communities, on the veteran, or for kids. And it doesn't matter what it is. That, as a founder or president of my own organization, like, find the small organizations. And so that's what I felt that was missing at that time. Now there's 10,000 organizations that seem to pop up every day, which is great, because you take the Vietnam guys, they didn't have that. So our generation, we have a lot more sources and resources to be able to help guys out. But at the same time, I'd see these fads, right? And this isn't knocking anybody, but like the 22 push-up thing. That's not, in my opinion, and I have hundreds of vets that'll agree with me on this. That's not. It's just like the ALS challenge. Dumping a bucket of ice water on your head isn't going to solve the cure to that, right? And doing 22 push-ups, that doesn't help any way at all. From my point of view, it was actually putting my foot to the ground and just doing it, and actually trying to make a difference, pulling these guys out of their beds, going to their houses and learning their pill routine and what they have to eat with certain pills and the side effects. And that was where I saw the impact. Now, obviously not everybody can do that. I get it. And the people that are like saying, well, not everybody can. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take time. All it takes is just a resource. You might have a connection. You might know somebody that owns a ranch that does a big deer cull every year, and they just go out and kill a bunch of does. Call the guy and be like, hey, what if we brought out some vets? Oh, absolutely, get them out here. Then that's when you reach out to an organization, be like, hey, I got this place. Or, hey, I'm a fishing guide up in Montana. And so it's like, hey, I'd love to take a guy out. Reach out to an organization. So it more comes down to, and a lot of people think like, we'll get the response on, I just don't have money to help. It honestly takes zero money. That's what sponsors are for. That's what corporate sponsors are for. They're the ones that help when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I'll be honest with you, the backbone of organizations are just good old boys that are just helping out any way they can. I mean, some of the most insane, greatest, most life-changing hunts we've ever done for vets were like turkey hunts. It's a fucking freaking turkey. Sorry.
That's all right.
It's all right.
Turkey. Like, dude, to me, it's just a turkey. But I mean, we take these guys in the mountains in Montana or even in Florida. We're hunting these orange groves, hunting Osceolas down there, and they're catching alligators out of these aqueducts. And I mean, and it just blew these guys' minds, and they had the time of their life. So, for everybody that you think you need money to help an organization, you don't. It's honestly just reaching out to your influencers around you and seeing what connections you have and put it together, and just then you can reach out to organizations like us. We get it all the time. Guys are like, hey man, I want to take a vet bear hunt in the spring. Cool. Here's the time. Give us time, place, dates, what we need to cover, and it will make it happen. And so that's the kind of stuff that actually helps us the most.
Dave, you're inspirational.
But
yeah, no shit. What have you? And I'm sure that's just many, but what do you see more often than not from these veterans that you're doing these things for? What changes do you see, or what success stories? Like, what are the end results that you see from doing this?
The biggest success stories is the brotherhood. And so something that we do with Wish is that I sat back and I looked and I researched a lot of organizations. You'll see these pictures of like 10, 15, 20 vets on these hunts, right? It's this big event. To me, it's the one guy that's standing in the back that didn't get the one-on-one time. the one guy that didn't come out of his shell to learn who everybody was. So what we do with Wishes is we send a rep, a veteran, a combat vet, another wounded vet. We will partner them with another vet that's been part of the program or is the program, and we'll send them on a trip. Like I can send anybody in the world on any trip. Cool. You want to go Alaska, fishing, whatever. We'll make that happen for you. But like if we send them to some outfitter that just like, like, cool, all right, we're going to go out tonight. And the guy's doing it his whole life. What are they actually getting out of that? And so what I found right in the very beginning, what most of these guys are missing is the camaraderie. They miss the brotherhood. I miss it every day. I'm lucky enough to work for a better known company, so we still have that atmosphere of just kind of, just being knuckle draggers. But it's that brotherhood that these guys, and it was just a bond. And then now what I'm seeing is these vets that we pulled out of like the depth of just darkness, right? And just hate and they had so much on their heart, and we go out there and they're able to just talk one-on-one. I mean, I've sat in blinds antelope hunting with guys in August. We were damn near in our underwear sweating, or turkey hunting in Florida. It's 100 degrees and you're sitting in your underwear with another guy you just met 2 days ago. You're bonding. And so these guys will have the time of their life, and then it's that brotherhood. They know they can have somebody to talk to and communicate with. And it's just, that's the biggest thing that I see out of this is the camaraderie that we build for these guys, and the family that they know they can reach out. And then it's like this almost little military that we have with our own organizations. Then we'll send all these guys to events that may not know each other, but they've all been on an event together. We'll have like a alumni get together, and all these guys are all like, dude, I saw your post and I saw you do this hunt. And so then they all connect, and it's just one of those things that we really pride ourselves on is the brotherhood of our company.
How can somebody like us, just saying your normal average, one of our listeners or viewers, how can they get in contact with Wishes for Warriors? What's the best way to do that? And then say they have a vet that they want to get a hunt for, or take fishing, or something that they want to get done with a vet that they know.
Yep. So you can go right to wishes4warriors.org. That's our website. So you can we have daughters that nominate their fathers. We have wives nominate their husbands. So you're able to actually nominate vets. We do require an essay. It's a 500-word essay, and that was just because we saw like a shift in guys just wanting just to go on trips. So we want to help the guys that actually need the help. And so with that, you can just go right on our website, or you can even just go on social media. Look up Wishes for Warriors on Instagram or Facebook, shoot us a message, and we'll get back to you immediately on that. But that's the easiest way. And you can go on there, and there's a contact form. You can fill out like a nominee. All of our emails and contacts are on there, but that's just the most simplest way to do it. And so, and honestly, you would be surprised. We've had kids that have nominated their fathers, and we surprise their fathers at like our banquets. They have no idea. And here's this young kid. Early 20s, if that, and he goes all out of the way and sets his whole, and we'll set up an event for his dad. And it's cool things like that allows people to be able to nominate loved ones and how they feel like if they need the help or go on an adventure or something like that.
It's fantastic. And I assume the same website, you can go on there and make donations, people that want to help out.
Absolutely.
Things like that, right? Yeah. Now, where do you see this going? What would you like to see? Would you like to see more people involved throughout, the nation and like different parts of the country, or what do you see this turning into? Let's say 5 years down the road, where do you see this going?
I couldn't give you an answer for that because I had if you would have asked me 5 years ago if we would be right like what we're at today, I'd have been like, absolutely not. I thought we're only going to be doing hunting trips and it'd be a couple of years. And the growth that we've had, it's so hard to be able to like, okay, this is because every time we set a goal, we'll blow right by it, and then we'll start unfolding new chapters that we never even knew we were going to get into. But obviously getting this country back on track to support the veterans, the law enforcement, things like that. That's where obviously, especially this day and age, we see a big line drawn in this country, and it sucks. And so one of our future plans, and this was, we're trying to find the right guys to run the program, is to actually bring on a sister chapter of Wishes and to be able to help out law enforcement and first responders. And so that's kind of like our next little plan that we're really focusing on. And because, if you think about it, not to get off topic or political, but cops right now, law enforcement, are our Vietnam era vets. And so, they're hated, they're spit on, this country's drawn a line on it, and it shouldn't be. These are the guys that protected us while we were all overseas. And so I'll always have their back. I've had run-ins with cops. I'm not the biggest fan of most of them.
There are good ones. There's good ones. There's bad ones, right? I mean,
and everything. Yeah. 90% of the time, I deserve all of my time, and so. But it's not going to stop me from supporting the guys that need help. And and that's something that we've really put together, and we got some pretty good backing on it. And we just need to find the right guys. I don't know nothing about law enforcement or first responders, so we're trying to find the right partners to bring those guys on to run their chapter of that and to be able to help out. Anyway, we're going to start small. It's not going to be big or anything right out the gate, but that's definitely in our next. It was supposed to be this year's plan, but COVID kind of threw everything a wrench, and we're kind of just coasting this year for now. So.
That's awesome. Well, Bam, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we thank you for joining us. What you do each and every day is absolutely amazing. Thank you for your service, without a doubt. Without guys like you and the guys you help each and every day, Sam and I aren't able to do this. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you.
And keep up the great work, what you're doing. Sam, you got anything to add there?
I would just say I can see why Rugg thinks so much of you.
Yeah.
Just by in this time and talking to you, you're probably one of the most genuine people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. So once again, like he said, thank you for doing what you do. And once again, people watching, people listening on the podcast, go to wishes4warriors.org. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Bam, but the phone number, if you need to, is 855-W4W-HERO, HERO, which is 949-949-4376. So if you need to reach out, you got a veteran that needs some help, there's the ways to do it. Donate, people. Get off your ass. Donate, help, because this is probably the best friggin' thing I've heard in a long time.
Yes, it is.
Fantastic.
Agreed.
You're good, man. Thank you for doing what you do.
It doesn't take the money, and it is not, we get it. There might be a farmer that's barely making it every year, and we get it. Or an outfitter, and we're not the type of organization that comes out there expecting everything for free. We have no problem covering expenses and all that. And that's kind of another thing. That's why Ruggsy, it's like, man, we come out and it's like, just give us the opportunities to get vets there and we'll take it from there, and that's all we ask for. And so you never know. You can just reach out to the people, and they might have the most incredible hookup or resources that cost nothing that we can go and have the time of our lives with and get these vets back in the outdoors or anything really.
Well, Bam, I know this has to be a pinnacle of your career too as well, being on this show, but so we won't keep you much longer. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break, come back right here on the Behind the Mic Show with Bees, Trees, Trivia, and our Dumbass Criminal of the Week.
You have kids? Do they need a pet? Look no further than Turner's House of Goats. They have happy goats, jumping goats, one-eyed goats, and sleeping goats. Stop by Turner's House of Goats in Bible Grove, where goats are great and prices aren't bad.
What a great interview we just had here on the Behind the Mic Show with Bam Marshall, Wishes for Warriors, with an excellent program, excellent what he does for vets, and of course, a former Marine himself. And I tell you what, you're right, Sam Irwin, before we went to break, you said one of the most real and genuine people we've ever met, and have to agree with you totally. What a guy. What a guy.
Oh, man. God, you talk about inspirational and just one of those things like we talked about before, about getting up off your ass and doing something to help somebody else. He's done that. So incredible. So yeah, if you're out there, if you've got, a veteran that could use some help, some brighter days, contact this man. If you're in the giving mood, help this organization out, because they are a nonprofit, not-for-profit organization. But and we're definitely going to have him back on, because there's a lot of stories with that guy. Some stuff that I'd heard from Matt McGrew that I didn't realize that's who he was talking about. One of the best stories you'll ever hear. And then, of course, the stories with him and Rugg alone would be entertainment at its best. So we definitely need to have him back, and we will definitely do that down the road. But fantastic interview, great person. Man, the stuff he's doing, just awesome.
Awesome. All right, Sam Irwin, it's now time for a new segment here on the Behind the Mic Show. We're going to throw it for the headline news with our newest news anchor right here on the Behind the Mic Show. Let's go over to headline news on the news desk, Sam.
Freak out, everybody. It's Macho Man Randy Savage, Yeah, you thought I was dead and gone. But guess what, brother? I'm back like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Yeah. Headline news. Behind the Mic Show's brought me on, brother. Yeah. The stimulus package. Will we get more money, brother? Is money the answer to all your problems, Keith Gibson? Sam Irwin, does that fix all your problems? I don't know. Yeah. Also, the Trump presidency is taking over, saying the virus now is going to get worse than before it gets better. Yeah, I've seen this before. Reminds me when Jack Tunney tried to take the Intercontinental Championship away from me, Keith Gibson. Yeah. Freak out. You'll never take it from the Macho Man. I'll climb to the mountaintop. The cream will rise to the top. Keith Gibson, you do what you want, brother, but you'll never take down the Macho Man. Yeah. And finally, speaking of cream, Keith Gibson, no better place in the world to get better cream than at Wes Turner's House of Goats right there in Bible Grove, brother. Yeah. Got what you need. Happy goats, bouncing goats, freaking out goats. Oh, yeah, brother. Go get you some good goat milk from West Turner right there in the middle of Bible Grove, Illinois. Freak out. And that's all I got for you this week. Keith Gibson, Sam Irwin, back to you at the Behind the Mic Show.
Back here on the Behind the Mic Show. Yeah, let's...
I don't have the words, Keith Gibson.
Let's just take a break. We'll be back after these messages.
Yeah.
Bees Trees, your local ISA certified arborist with over 10 years experience, specializing in tree removal, tree trimming, and with free estimates. Call Greg Miller of Bees Trees today at 217-260-4551.
Thanks again to our newest headline news reporter, the Macho Man, apparently.
I don't know what has happened to this show.
I don't know who you hired, but Jiminy
the
Christmas.
wheels have fallen off, and I don't know if it's too much Don Julio, too much Bush Latte. Maybe it's that new Apple Bush Latte. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
are you a fan of that, by the way?
It was okay. I could do one or two, but too much apple.
Too much apple.
Just give me the latte.
Just the old regular.
Just give me the old latte.
But yeah, we're going to have to look into that and our booking people, because it's a bit much.
You're the talent coordinator.
I'll say I got to get it. Where's my secretary?
Linda fails again.
Yep. So anyway, what do we got next?
It's Behind the Mic Show trivia time.
It's time for Bees Trees Trivia. And people, if you haven't figured it out, if you answer the question correctly, you win free swag right here from the Behind the Mic Show. 2 weeks in a row. We had Eric Porter win 2 weeks ago. We had a winner last week during the show. That's the easiest way to do it. Casey Strange, congratulations to you. Last week's winner for answering the question, where was the All-Star Game held in 2011? In Arizona. So congratulations. Yes. Now, Sam Irwin, Greg Miller, new dad. Keep him busy. He's got to come home. He said, had to delay me a little bit if I was all right. I said, told Greg, it's okay. You work. A lot of rain, a lot of storms. He's got a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah. You talk about the guy that you need to call. I mean, good
Now's
Lord.
the perfect time.
And in fact, there was a person that was needing some tree work done, and Amanda contacted me and said, hey, do you have a contact information for your Bees Trees guy? Got a lady here in Muhammad that he saw. I said, absolutely. Send him the information. She got in touch with Greg. He came over, and bless the man's heart, not only went over and did a great job, but the woman let Amanda know. She said he did a great job, and all he could talk about was the Behind the Mic Show and if I listened or not. I'm like, oh, win-win.
It's a win-win, yeah. Thanks to Greg. All right, Sam Irwin, I got another. With baseball starting today, I've got another baseball question for this week.
Okay.
There's no All-Star game this year.
Right.
But in 1998, there was. Who led the American League in RBIs at the All-Star break in 1998? That is your Bees Trees trivia question of the week. Once again, in 1998, at the All-Star break for Major League Baseball, who led the American League in RBIs? That stands for runs batted in.
Yes. Good question.
You know, I'm a big baseball guy, so I've been watching a lot of All-Star games, as I said last week, so, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty bored, Sam Irwin.
Oldies and
pretty
goodies.
bored.
Yeah. Running out of things.
Hey, but you know what else it's time for, Sam Irwin? It's time for your favorite segment. It is time for our dumb ass criminal of the week.
I like that.
Thank you. What do you got for me this week?
Well, this week we've got Florida No surprise there. You can always find dumbass criminals in Florida. So the headline reads, Florida man wrecks liquor shop, blames the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. The man did more than $100,000 in damage to this liquor store. So the story goes.
How much?
Yeah, $100,000. So he knocked the whole bastard down, is my guess. Not sure, but we'll find out here. A Florida man arrested for destroying a liquor store under construction told police he was Alice in Wonderland and that a hookah smoking caterpillar ordered him to attack the site. Not real sure what was in that hookah, but it might be more than hookah. Crestview police said in a post on Facebook that Matthew Horace Jones is accused of breaking into a fenced-in area and using a forklift to cause more than $100,000 in damage. He faces grand theft felony and other charges. Witnesses called 911 and police went to the site. The police report says Jones aimed the forklift towards officers who stopped him at gunpoint. Police quoted Jones as identifying himself as Alice in Wonderland, blaming the attack on a hookah smoking caterpillar and saying that he had a problem with building a place to sell alcohol. How dare them? I'm stoned and I think the caterpillar tells me what to do, but don't you build a liquor place. And believe it or not, no lawyer was listed for him at this time.
Nobody wants to take that case.
I was going to say, if you want to keep your glowing record as a lawyer intact, I don't think you take this case. So yeah, hookah, Keith Gibson, make you do some weird things.
Sounds like a pretty open and shut case, Sam Irwin.
I think it does. Yeah, I think they've got what they need.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your dumbass criminal of the week. Hey, let's talk about some other things we got going on here real quick before we take a break and get our final thoughts. Sam Irwin, we started this week the greatest sitcom tournament of all time. You messaged me on Sunday and said 32. I said, yeah. I couldn't cut it down to 16, Sam. I tried. Tried over and over again. I had a list. And I'm like, all right, we're just going to do this. We'll run 2 a day and we'll go with it. But, 32 sitcoms. Running 2 a day for the first round. So make sure you vote on each matchup, which I see people have done easily already.
Oh, absolutely.
No upsets quite yet. I thought Friends was going to get it there early, but no, they hung on. So, yeah, it should be another exciting time. And when it gets dwindled down there, Sam Irwin, we're going to see probably some upsets. Who's your favorite?
Going to get heated. Who's my favorite? Shoo. Well, that's, it's going to get tough if it gets down to, because it's like Seinfeld is definitely, I think Final Four should be like Seinfeld, The Office, and that's where it gets tough. I think those two are. What about you? What are some of you? What would be your Final Four?
Cheers.
Good call.
Friends.
Oh.
The Office. I don't know about maybe Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Wasn't a big Seinfeld guy, but just as far as one of the greatest ever, I mean, it's got to be up there for me. But I think it's gonna be fun to see who advances and see what everybody thinks.
Oh man, and I wonder if maybe a cartoon gets in there, a Simpsons or a Family Guy or something.
Right.
Like that. A South Park. Who knows? I mean, it's
that's what I said.
There's
I listed my 16. I'm like, but we got this one. No, is that one better than? I'm like, screw it. Here we go.
And here's the thing, Keith Gibson. Wouldn't have mattered if you'd have put 5,280. Somebody's going to bitch.
Yeah, they did.
Like Travis Cooper, for instance, right out of the gate. How do you leave off this one? So without
Married with Children.
Married
with Children was right there on my cusp. I'm like, oh, Kelly Bundy, Al.
Al, great show. Great show.
I don't know. I just couldn't. There was something that topped it for me. So
I think you left off Night Court. I mean,
that was right there with me. Bull from Night Court. I loved old Bull.
Dan the lawyer. I mean, what a great show. But yeah, so many. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch that. And once again, we just keep giving people something to do. Keep giving every morning.
Give till it hurts, baby.
Give till it hurts.
I think that's going to be our new slogan. Give till it hurts.
I think that's a good idea.
Hey, we got some upcoming events. I want to remind you of the golf outing August 22nd at Flora Golf and Country Club. We do have 12 teams currently. We're full of that. But keep an eye out. We had one drop off this week and picked another one up real quick.
Just like that.
So, we'll keep an eye on the BTM Show Facebook page, and so we're looking forward to that. Thanks to our sponsors for that. And speaking of Travis Cooper, thanks to Cooper Farms. They became a new sponsor for the golf outing, so we appreciate Coop. Mm-hmm. As much as he likes to gripe at us, we appreciate Coop. I appreciate him anyway. He likes me more than you, so it doesn't matter.
All day, every day, just bitching. I'm like, do you farm at all anymore, or do you just sit at home on your phone? What do you do?
Don't those tractors run themselves?
I think they obviously. Yeah.
No, but thanks to Coop and Cooper Farms, we do appreciate that. But then that night, Sam, we've got the Retro Rewind Party right there at Venue 720. All cover at the door goes to Moore's Mission, so we're looking to have a big crowd. We've got the giveaway that night, so once you get in the door, you get a ticket to get entered in for the Ultimate Summer Giveaway, which is sponsored by our great sponsor, Benjamin F. Edwards, Cole Duke Advisor there in 10 Parsons Lane in Flora. So we do appreciate him. We're working on some great things for that: cooler, grill, T-shirt, hats, huggies,
tickets.
Yeah,
I mean. Good God.
Well, maybe.
Why wouldn't you?
Maybe. There may be tickets or may not be. Depends if we have any football or basketball.
That may be pending.
The
tickets. But everything else.
Everything else is good. Yeah.
That's right. And for $10, I mean, come on.
And extra tickets will be available that night. We'll draw a name there, but I've got music ready to go. I've got everything ready to go. Should be a fun day for the BTM show. We'll have hats, shirts at both the golf outings if you want to pop out the golf course and pick up a shirt or hat, or want to pick it up that night at Venue 720. Thanks to Dustin and Kathy for letting us come in and have a great party and have a lot of fun that night. So
DJ KK Moles making an appearance.
You notice the hair's getting a little shorter.
It is. I was going to say, you're real close to back to that. All you need is the headband, the big eyebrows.
I may have found it.
Is it the famous red
Nope.
headband?
No, it was white.
Was it white? I thought it was red. I thought on the cover of the CD was
maybe
red.
It was red. Hell, I don't remember.
I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, very excited. Our buddy Brent Johnson, of course, is bringing the equipment as well, so we thank him for that. And, I hope to see people dressed up in their best 80s and 90s garb, and I hope it's a lot of fun for people, because I know a lot of people have been cooped up for a long time, and it should be a great time. And I tell you what, from what I'm seeing, it could be inside the building. It might be out in the parking lot. Who knows? But it's going to, I was going to say, get ready for some gravel bass, because it's going to happen.
No, it'll be a fun night, and looking forward to that. So we'll have that coming up too. Also, we've got another event coming up here in September, which we'll announce soon, but keep your eye out on that. And that'll be going towards breast cancer awareness. So we got that coming up. And Sam Irwin, it's always something. It's always something. And I want to remind people that I know we raised some money for me shooting threes. Don't worry, that I haven't forgot about that. Nobody has. We've just got to wait till we can get into school to do it.
Absolutely. I had a person, actually Brent Johnson, asked me today. He goes, "When's Keith shooting those threes?" I said, "Well, we got to get a gym. School's got to be there. It's a whole thing."
This whole COVID's kind of thrown that. So don't worry, that's coming.
Yeah. Right.
And it's going to be a special night. Don't you worry. Mm-hmm. I've been shooting a little bit, Sam Irwin.
That's what she said. 1-0.
Got me. First one of the night. Hey, let's take a quick break, come back, and we'll get our final thoughts right here on the Behind the Mic Show from the Cheap Seat Sports Bar and Grill.
Morgan's Place Canine Salon has been offering exclusive one-on-one grooming services in the Champaign area for over 12 years, using all natural products, giving lots of love to your dog. Visit www.morgansplace.me to learn more. Morgan's Place, making dogs beautiful.
Back here on the Behind the Mic Show from the Cheap Seat Sports Bar and Grill. Keith Gibson. Sam Irwin. DJ KK, ready to break it down. I told you I knew where it was at.
That is beautiful. That really is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's like a very large ring to a Uranus or something.
And the best part is when you bleach the eyebrows, you look like Mr. Freeze.
I will never bleach my eyebrows again. That was a one-time deal.
How much would it take?
No.
How much could we raise?
I'd like to stay married, please.
You telling me back in the 90s she didn't have a boy band guy with bleached eyebrows?
Probably that was 90s. That was 20 years ago, and I'm also not 40.
Well, but nevertheless, it could take her back. You know, to maybe she liked Nick Lachey or some shit like that.
Probably still does.
Draw out of my hat. Yeah. All right. So what do we got, Keith Gibson?
Final thoughts. I don't have much. I just want to say thanks to Bam for coming on this evening. Great interview, great organization. You know, as we wrap things up here, that's what she said.
Oh, damn.
As we get ready to wind down here, you know, it's what a great show, what a great organization, what a great interview. You know, and I just want to say thanks again to everybody who tuned in last week. The views, it blows our mind every time. You know, I'm sure our sponsors like it, but we appreciate you guys. We can't say that enough, because without you, we really just talk to the wall or each other. And, well, we do that occasionally too, but it's not as fun. So thanks to each and every one of you for viewing each and every week. Thanks for sharing. Help us grow. Share the show.
Yes.
And be nice.
And what else? There you go. I was going to say.
Be nice. Be nice.
Don't forget.
One more thing. Don't forget, merch still on sale through July. Anything we sell, $5 goes to military families, the Delaney family. We're helping them out. So make sure you grab your merch before the end of July. We'll have stuff available too. The event's coming up, but make sure you place your order right on cheapseatsbar.com. BTM Shop. Hat and a t-shirt, same room, $30. That's it. Summer sale.
Can't beat that. Guarantee it.
What do you got?
And my final thoughts. Apparently, as if you follow Kyle's wife on Facebook, she made a nice post about how he's doing much better. So the treatment worked, and he's doing better. So that's good to hear. If you gave, we appreciate it if you bought a shirt, and that money will go, as Kyle even put, and there's Kyle Delaney in a nutshell. What did he say with what we were doing is he will give that money to some other military family that needs it. And there's Kyle Delaney for you. Bobby Carlisle coming through again.
I tell you what, that's why he's a fan of the show, Sam Irwin. You know why? Because he's a giver.
He gives till it hurts. And I had the pleasure of seeing Brian Delaney this weekend as well on my way down.
Hold on. Was that a pleasure?
Yeah. It is
the pleasure.
The pleasure. He got the pleasure, all right.
Yeah,
so,
sure,
but no, it's always good to see Brian Delaney. We got to talk for a little bit. He was talking about how Kyle's doing better. He did say, and as Kyle's wife put, you know, the messages that were sent, the donations, all that. She truly thinks, and I agree that helped him, you know, his recovery, the positivity that was coming his way, along with the medicine and the doctors, everything is doing that well. If you're a religious person, you know, the prayers you sent, everything works together. So that's good to hear. It's good news for a change in that. And I just want to close the show with this one final thought that I heard today. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Dan Le Batard show, and I heard this, and I had to look it up to make sure it was true. On Monday, Keith Gibson, you ever shop on Amazon?
All the time.
Correct.
You know why I do, Sam Irwin?
Sure, yeah. Why? Why's that?
I can order my stuff and get it in 2 days.
Not bad. Not bad. Sometimes next day. Yeah,
right.
you prime? Nice. Prime time.
That's right. That's what she said.
Yeah. Damn it. 3-1. So anyway.
I've been giving you opportunities all night long, and you haven't taken them.
That's what she said.
Oh.
All right. So anyway, but apparently everybody else shops on Amazon too, which will be the death of every company in the world. Because on Monday, Keith Gibson, not the week, on Monday, in one single day, a single day record, Jeff Bezos, who built this company from the ground up, I give him credit on that. I saw a picture of him in his office that had it like printed out that said Amazon on it. This was many moons ago, but it was a little rundown office, and he just started from nothing and built this thing up, basically. One day, single day, added 13 billion with a B dollars to his net worth in one day. And what the Dan Le Batard show said, with that money that he made in one day, mind you, he could have bought the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Mets, and one other franchise. I can't remember what the third. What's that?
Knicks?
The Knicks. I think it was the Knicks. Yes, the New York Knicks could have bought all three franchises and still had $2 billion left over from one day's earnings.
You know what you call that? Nuts, number one. And number two, that's a heck of an entrepreneur right there.
That's quite the entrepreneur. And, I mean, it's baffling to me. I mean, the people you have to have around you to help manage that kind of wealth on a regular, because that's just one day, Keith Gibson. So there's a bunch of days.
I'll take 10%. I'll take 1% of that.
It's shocking is what it is. It really is. The 13 billion. So if you think you're rolling, anybody out there, you look up Jeff Bezos real quick. He makes what you make in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, no
or
kidding.
less
No
in
kidding.
a year, what you make. So anyway, but other than that, once again, like you said, thanks to everybody that listens. It's always appreciated. And once again, it's just very good to hear, about Kyle and how he's doing better. And like you said, that interview from tonight, man, God, if we had more people like that, this world would be a lot better off. Because Bam Brian Marshall is a diamond in a world of a lot of hoop. So it's just good to talk to somebody like that, because that guy has definitely got a great thing going on. So other than that, man, I got nothing else.
All right. Well, thank you to our sponsors, Ford of Tuscola, Cole Duke, Benjamin F. Edwards, Financial Advisor, Busey Bank, Morgan's K9 Salon. I almost forgot where I was going with that one. And Bees Trees Trivia. Thanks to them. Thanks to all who have become a sponsor for our golf outing. And thanks to everyone for watching. For my co-host and good friend, Sam Irwin, I am Keith Gibson, otherwise known as DJ KK Mole. I'm kidding. Have a great week, everybody. Remember, give till it hurts. We'll see you next week right here on the Behind the Mic Show.
Bye, everybody.